access to that interior space and how close we are to the curtain wall on the interior side, whether the safety glazing comes as a factor or not. There's a dimension here of 19 inches from the interior glass to the guardrail on the stairs or landing. And then our safety glazing for guardrails or glass guardrails. One thing to note is this top of our rail 42. So per code is 42 inches from the finished floor. Walters and Wolf, we decided to be conservative and make sure it's 42.5 to allow for any tolerance in the construction phase. So I know that it came up that because of the buildup and the tolerance that we were actually short of 42 inches. So we just want to give ourselves a little bit of tolerance with the 1/2 inch. So keep that in mind for glass guardrails. And slope glazing. I know that I think there's some language in our decision manager's decision tracker regarding this. You know, talking to our customer to get us out of this 15-degree or 14-degree sloped angles to kind of get away from the safety glazing or laminated glass on the interior, depending on what side the slope is, where that laminated glass would be required. And then some interior glazing requirements for at an interior glazing. I'm not too sure how much we do it on our end, the glass division. Another sheet for interior glazing. And I think that's, yeah, interior glazing. And I think this is for mirrors on the interior side also. I think this detail here on the top left of this sheet with this break shape hasn't really been worked out yet. It must not have really been coming up very often for us to really have to work it out, but this would be apply at elevator shaft, glazing around that elevator shaft. And then at the back of the sheet of end of our safety glazing, it's just the codes. This is CBC 2016. I took a quick look at the 2019 codes and I didn't see any deviation from what they show for 2016, but we'll probably have to PDCA that. So going back to just our manual, I think we referenced some of the codes in here. I thought we did. Let me see. Or maybe we didn't. I guess we did not, but I thought, but the codes are in the back of the sheets to reference if you have any questions on the language we used in the guide. So that's pretty much it. Any questions?
Mark, I have a question about the handrail. I was in, I think, a South Main design meeting with Lisa, and we were talking to them about the code changing to laminated safety glass. And it was something new to the architect. So does the code say that, or is that just something that we adopted?
That's something, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think that's something that we just are really conservative on, and we went with the laminated glass.
I don't know if that's right. I thought Joseph told me it's in the code.
Yeah, and John
mandatory.
doing the handrail portion. So John, is that something that you had looked into or aware you could help us out on this?
I'm pretty sure that's code. Yeah. I
Yeah,
have to look again in the CBC, but I'm pretty sure that's code though.
Yeah, I've
but
got.
we adopted a certain interlayer, right?
What's 060, wait, quarter, 060
The
quarter.
SGP. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Well, the SGP is what's on the exterior application. It could be PVB on the inside. It's going on the outside of those. We're going to SGP, I remember.
Okay.
No, the SGP is an inner layer.
I know, but
It,
it's
repla-
a different type of
it
airline than
replaces
PVB.
the PVB, doesn't it?
No, I think
In
Greg's
some
saying
cases it does.
interior of a building versus
Oh,
exterior of a
right.
building.
Exactly. And I know that on LinkedIn, I didn't even have to put a top rail cap on my guardrail because I use laminated glass, 13/6 laminated glass. There is no top rail even being used.
I thought we made a decision per the managers that
Well,
regardless of the fact that the
Architect and owner don't want it, so I'm not gonna step on them because we say it has to be if architect doesn't want it, the owner doesn't want it, we're not doing it. I'm not doing it at least. I might get in trouble, that's why, by the call I took.
No,
yeah,
I
I
did
just
the
thought
same
that
thing.
that was part of the management decision tracker that we were requiring top caps regardless, but maybe I'm wrong.
Travis,
No, I did the same thing on Coleman. We went with 13/16 Slammy. It calcs out to match the other buildings and
But that was a whole thing with management, right? And you had to like send a letter or something.
yeah, 10-4 on the letter.
maybe
Yeah,
you
so
could
it's not.
share that with Greg.
It's not in the management decision tracker. It's something that we all talked about. And it's something that's in our safety glazing manual that says what will have a top cap. And it kind of goes into it a little bit in depth on there.
Yeah, see, it's in my it might be my Swiss. I can't remember, but
Hey, one thing on the safety glass that you got to be careful of is if you're not looking at your architecturals and there's walking surfaces under by your curtain wall, then you have to have tempered glass up. I think it was like it was like 20 feet or something like that. But
25
like when
feet.
you're 25, yeah. So when you're checking your glass, you should really look at the site work and see which walkways or whatever, just to make sure it gets captured on your glass takeoff.
Yeah, that's a good note. So if there's a walking surface above, I mean, if there's a walking surface and you're above the 25 feet, so you do not want safety glazing or tempered glass on the outboard because of the spontaneous combustion on that. It could, potentially fall on somebody. But it's in here. You see the section here. We have the 25-foot dimension on the section, and yeah, I mean, that's a little tough one. You do have to look at your plans for your project and make sure where the walking surface is and what's happening per floor. So Steve, to your question regarding that, the guardrails, yeah, we'll need like I said, we'll need a PDCA and probably, get the band back together, see, where we stand with that, especially with the new code, and review that. Like I said, I did.
Hey, Mark.
Yeah.
Hey, Mark, do you know the explanation? I think I heard it years ago, but that the whole 25-foot rule with the tempered on the inside, outside, what's the difference in their minds between like the second floor and the third floor? What does the code actually say?
Yeah, so you don't want any spontaneous combustion of that tempered glass on the exterior above 25 feet. And they feel that, I think I don't know if it's in the code, but I think some of the language says that pretty much if you fall out of that third floor, you don't have basically you're gonna,
It's
probably,
more about death, right?
yeah. Yeah.
So
So
you
after
may
that,
survive a second floor fall. Is that it?
yeah, you know what I mean? So after that point, after 25 feet, they feel like, the safety glazing is, only required on the inboard, not on the exterior light, right?
Yeah, and Paul, I think that because of the higher rate of having that tempered glass break, right, above that area versus just having a regular piece of glass in there. At 30 feet, it's all going to fall the same. It's all going to do damage.
Yeah, the logic doesn't sit. I mean, I can't follow that logic very well, but because spontaneous breakage and falling through can happen at any level.
Right.
But they try to make sense of it, but okay.
But if we're actually heat soaking our glass, it's tempered and heat soaked, then we're okay for going
Yeah.
down the roof, right?
Yes,
As long as you heat soak, right?
but we don't do a lot of that.
Well, anytime you buy from European glass like Interpane or Saint-Gobain, they always heat soak their tempered glass no matter what. That's a requirement in Europe to heat soak.
Here
all-
comes Greg. Here comes our worldly Greg Hassler. He's got a
Uh,
great job.
Gotta love them.
Yeah, you should have stopped at no cap, bud.
There you go. I'm done. I'm out here.
So, yeah, so that's just a quick overview of our safety glazing manual. Any other questions? Just talk to someone that uses it more often. But yeah, I mean, and yeah, you could send me any questions you have, and like I said, I could bring it up to our group, and we could, you know, review that and PDCA this document. I mean, which is the intention. I think we're a little overdue, so that'll probably be happening sometime this year. So that's all I have. Like I said, no more questions. Probably can't answer them anyway, so. But so everyone's just clear where this document lives, right, and how to find it, right? It's right on our Walters and Wolf portal. So
Yeah,
There's
I think Mark just kind of remembering those 4 things are key on the safety glazing manual.
correct,
Those
and
little-
that's on
those
the.
4 little
you know,
rules.
I think that's on every sheet of that manual too. So it's you're not too clear on that. It'll show up over and over. That's all I got, guys. There's nothing else. I'm gonna dip out.
Thanks, Mark.
Yeah, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye.
Okay, I guess I'm up. I'm just going to share my a Swiss I made on the PM process for purchasing and doing takeoff for glass handrail. I know a few people have used it. They said that it was it helped them a lot in the process of what to buy and what to purchase. It's just in the SPD standard procedures in the portal. And I'm not going to read through everything, but I can just kind of go through it and just kind of briefly show what I wrote down. And the first one is just kind of how to do a takeoff, the guardrail. You know, you can always use a summary sheet from the estimators on linear footage. And then using floor plans and elevations and shop drawings, take off your linear feet of the guardrail. Again, using the summary sheets from the estimators. Once the linear feet is calculated, you can release the guardrail base shoe. The NBL56D part is the most typical pre-drilled base shoe and will work with most applications. Comes in 10-foot stock lengths. You should always add about 10% overage. It's also important to know what you're attaching to. That's a big one. And then it just kind of goes in the shoe, comes in pre-drilled 12 inch centers and kind of goes into that. You also might need to add steel L angle support. That's a big one sometimes. And then here's like a base shoe product data that you can use as CRL. Everything's based on CRL. And it goes for 9/16 Lamy. Is what you want to use. So just kind of goes over that. And then for the cladding, you should always have approved finish samples for reference. For quantity, order twice the stock lengths of cladding you need for each base shoe. That's always good to remember. You should order 1 or 2 extra pieces, see the cladding product data. You can order miter pieces and caps. And then you'll need 1/32 DS tape and caulking that matches for the cladding install. For easier installation in the field, uses a portaband saw to cut stainless steel cladding. So that's a good one. And then here's some product data again to go over. It's just CRL product data. And it kind of goes over. It's cool to have these corners that could help sometimes. And then some end caps are always good. A lot of people forget these. always good to remember. And then for the taper lock, the X1s, you'll need determined by the glass panel width. You'll need to use your shop drawing elevations to calculate this order. You should have approved glass samples, determine glass thickness. Must be a minimum of 9/16 laminated tempered glass with SGP layer. I said SGP inner layer because you can't go wrong. Use the provided product data to determine number of parts. And that's just a good to remember too. And again, this is just the product data, and it kind of goes over how many sets you need, and that's a panel width. Just a good to remember. And here's the top cap quantity. That goes over, should equal the number of base you have. And then it should be approved submittal or detail on shops profile and finish order. There's a lot of different types. And then as safety regulations, you must attach the top cap to any adjacent walls that come in contact with the top cap. The joints might need welding. Don't forget the end caps. Rubber inserts, elbows, and miters are also available in the CRL catalog.
So is that following code where it's saying, where you mentioned it has to be attached to adjacent?
Yeah.
That's per code, or is that Walters and Wolf?
I believe that's per code. I have to look it up, but I'm pretty sure it's per code. Yeah. I don't think I have it in here of.
It's for 2 lights or less, I believe.
Is that what it is? Yeah. Okay. But it shows it right here. But anyways, that's just kind of. Actually, there's a ton of top cap too. I think I have a. Let's see. No. Yeah, there's a lot of top cap though to choose from. Let's see. Oh, then handrail, and they can be purchased through CRL, subcontracted out or subcontracted out depending on the finish welding necessary. Approved submittal shops will determine profile finish. Quantity should equal number of base shoes, stock lengths, including temps overage. Elbow and miters are available on CRL website. And then again, there's the handrail product data. The brackets for the handrails and glass will be determined by approved submittals. Kind of goes over the same thing. That's just the brackets to go with the actual handrail itself. You know, you don't always have handrails for every glass handrail, but glass guardrail, I mean, but the gaskets for the shoes and the guardrail glass goes over that, kind of shows the gaskets that you need. There's a couple different types, drop in, and then there's inside safety seals. Again, that's just kind of the product data right here. You will need specific CRL tools to install the taper lock system. They're not cheap. Things like $800 or $900 for the set, I believe. But just make sure they have that. And then this kind of goes over for the glass releases. Make sure, see, it will need to be laminated, tempered glass with SGP inner layer. I put SGP inner layer, and I think that is just to make sure you cover your bases. I'm not sure if it's necessary SGP for interior and exterior. I know exterior, it's our rule, but and then it just kind of goes over that for the risers. Usually we use 1/2 inch and we pattern it in field. We do have a sub that can actually do takeoff that we've been told. And we'll do like a if you can give them like the riser, like the ironworker has shop drawings, you can get this sub their shop drawings. They could even do like a takeoff and kind of determine what the glass for the risers could be, and you can always go that route too if you want to try that, or just do the patterns for the glass. And then some glass product data, which actually I think is worthless. I don't think that says anything. Then type of fasteners. I did a whole fastener thing for what substrate you're attaching to, the quick ones for your shoe, and kind of goes over everything you might need: socket heads, cap screws. A mag drill is always good for the guys in the field if they're drilling into steel beams and whatnot. And this kind of goes over the fastener product data. I did put in a little code sheet here, and it just kind of goes over this little picture, and it kind of shows over like a 42-inch minimum height off of finished floor, and it shows like you can't have a gap more than 4 3/8 diameter sphere to pass through. I guess the guardrail is required at more than 30 inches. Just kind of nice little drawing there. Let's see. Oh, and it kind of goes over widths from fingers to like show the minimum distances. Oh, this is like kind of shows that at the bottom of a riser, you have to have a 12-inch minimum extension of that. It's always a good one because that gets kind of tricky actually to figure that out, and it really makes crucial for your hole patterns in the glass. So you got to kind of figure that out and then rise it up. So that's actually a really big one for your field guys if they're patterning glass. Make sure they have that. Some clearances I put in here. So that's it for the codes that I put in there. I didn't put any of the CBC stuff, but additional info for steel glass guardrails systems. I'm not even sure what that is. Okay, just some more details, and shows more shoes, different attachments, stuff like that too, that you can kind of reference. Bunch of different top caps, but let's see, taper lock installation instructions, and then yeah, here's some subs like for welding if you want to weld the top caps or any cladding or whatnot. And then I said that sub to handrail material takeoffs, stair riser glass sizes, and that is it. Any questions? You can always find this. Yeah.
John, I have one question. So when we made that switch to having to do 9/16 laminated, we had a couple projects where we didn't order the right shoe. And I just wonder, are you guys 100% taper lock? And if you're doing anything else like using that Hilti product, how has that worked out?
We do taper lock. We haven't used that. That I know they did that little mock-up in the back there with that Hilti. We haven't done that yet that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just trying to see how that works out. We have a job that, isn't going to be able to use taper lock. It's going to be a shoe and precast. So we were wondering about that product.
Yeah, unfortunately, no, we haven't. Yeah, I should the next time we have like a little straight run or something like that, or we might sometimes you have a really small piece that's just an infill kind of by a turnstile or something like that, and sometimes you have to still pour. Just makes it easier, and maybe next time we'll try and use that stuff and see how it works.
I've used it. We used it on ISI. So if you have questions about it, you should probably hit TJ up.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Good to know.
Also, Joseph recommended a company called Florian to me, so maybe putting them on the Swiss would be valuable too, because they're helping out with the continuous top cap weld.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't either.
Florian, yeah, I don't think I've never subbed them out just for a top cap, but yeah, they could definitely do that for sure. I could definitely put it in there.
Yeah, maybe it's just a joke. Maybe I'm just getting lucky on this one-time Joseph hookup or something. I don't know, but
No, you're just doing top caps, so
yeah. If you're doing the rest,
it solved a big problem for me. But
I might hit you up on that, Shiloh, because I have that same issue you had at Santana West.
Oh yeah, hit me up.
What issue is that? Just curious. With the top cap, you mean
Yeah,
welding?
you need longer top cap. How long was yours that you made? Like 15 feet?
No,
or-
I'm doing a continuous welded top cap.
Gotcha.
That might look better, but I'll get with you on that.
Yeah, I have pictures of the sample they did, and they actually used the top cap that I bought from CRL. They came to the job site and picked up the sample, and they did a sample weld, and they ground smooth and everything, and they sent me pictures. We actually just submitted it to the customer today, but you can't even, it's so good that on the section that they did a weld and left it unfinished just to check for any deformities, and then they did right next to it a full weld, and then they ground it smooth and polished it or whatever. And it's so good where they ground smooth and polished it that I had got a call from the GC saying, "You seen this sample? The weld is clearly right here," and they didn't even notice that they had welded the other part. So
Okay, yeah, I'll put that in there.
Did they do that in the field, or did they take it all and just, how did they do that?
the field, yeah, they do it in the field. You can't, there's no way they could transport it
Oh, yeah.
hundreds of feet of stuff.
No, I mean, you know, corners.
It's so funny because I
all
got a
the
request asking
corners
to
and
get
stuff
a,
like that.
I got a request asking to get a top cap for 30 feet long
From who?
from you and Dexter.
It was 20 feet, bud. And we did get a sample.
How
of
was
it.
that one? That one was good, right?
I don't,
Okay, we'll see.
I'm trying to remember why we didn't go that direction. I've just got too many things in my head right now, but there was a reason.
Yeah, they're great. They do great work for welding and making it look seamless. Just be ready to pay, like if you're having them do the handrail and the top cap, be ready to pay
Right.
100+ a foot.
Yeah, I got a quote
Not
from
cheap.
them, but that is something that should go back to sales if architectural drawings are always showing 10-foot wide pieces of guardrail glass, and we have, you know, returns that are less than 3 pieces of glass. We run into that issue of needing to figure out how to make it pass code. Is either the top cap needs to be continuous, or we needed to design an end plate for the top cap to attach to, you know, that needs to go back to structure or whatever. But I think it's something that gets looked over a lot at the beginning. I know I looked it over.
Anyway, yeah, other option, be metals. I don't know. It's been a while since we used them, but that is another handrail bend.
Cool. Is that it?
For me, yeah.
Anyone have any other questions? All
Good
right.
job, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.